But they probably will say quite a bit about Hong Song.
Yeah, yeah. And there's some.
Like a clip of me in it?
Yeah. You mentioned it's going to be played on in 2 sessions?
Really? Okay, cool. Well, let's check if it really plays. Okay, so President Xi made an announcement late last year to achieve carbon neutrality by 2060 and to peak carbon emissions before 2030. And so, we were very keen to see what the 14th five-year plan would say about, how to actually get there, or maybe even more ambitious targets. What we've seen in the actual plan is that there is a target on reducing emissions intensity by 2025, but we can't tell what exactly that means in terms of total emissions. The plan does call for reducing the emissions intensity by 18%. That's significant, and it could mean, depending on how much GDP growth there is in this period, it could mean that the overall emissions will sort of stabilize over this period. That would be great, right? Because that would mean that in effect China's emissions could start to peak towards the end of this period, which would be 2025. That's well ahead of 2030. So that's what we're hoping for. But if GDP growth is really strong, then it could mean that overall emissions still rise. And if the plan would have absolute targets, that would be a change from what we had before. We would like to see that. We would like to see absolute emissions intensity targets, absolute emissions targets coming out of China. It seems now that the leadership has come around to wanting to act much stronger on climate change. And we know that the Ministry of Environment has long advocated for that. It's just that, around China, the awareness around climate change is actually pretty weak. The man on the street understands pollution, cares about air pollution and the environment, but, in their minds, green doesn't necessarily have anything to do with climate change. To them, they don't quite understand. A lot of people don't quite understand that. And China has never committed to absolute emissions reduction targets or to absolute emissions targets full stop. It's always framed it in an intensity way. So that means that emissions as a unit of GDP. It's hard in any country, and it's hard in China. China has an industrial structure, a power structure with high carbon emissions, and that has to change. But if many people still don't understand the urgency around that, then it's a good thing that the central government is really making it clear that that has to happen. And we are seeing signals like that.